Howdy. I am so excited to get into this. Hi everyone. Hi Giraffe. Hi Will. Sorry for calling you bitch ass. I thought you were mocking me. Where are we up to? What did we do last time? We moved in with Harlock. We developed feelings for him. We met Gina Lestrade. There was a whole thing with a music disc, and it had Mr. McGilded's name on the back. Kinda bonkers. Let's see what happens next. What? Oh my god! Thank you so much for subscribing! Welcome! I hope you enjoy your emotes! That is so poggers. Thank you, Twitch, for giving us Prime subscriptions. Alright, 15th of April today, not in real life, and we are on Baker Street. See? That's why I ate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scarp her. I really like Gina, she's so cute. Always pays off, giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. I love Gina's hat so much. Me too! I like the way the band on it matches her scarf. Her whole design is just so cute, it's unreal. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind. The music box disc? But Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Winterbanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. Oh my god, that's right. Some guy rocked up and was like, that's mine, only it wasn't. And then we tried to, this guy, Egbert Benedict, we tried to arrest him, but he got away. It's all coming back now. Iris is so cute. Egbert, what a name! What a fucking name. I like that they put the question marks on. Oh no, that's for the age. Sorry. It's so, like, the fake name. I thought they put the question marks in just to be like, that's what he said his name was. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. But that disc's mine! I had the ticket for this coat and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else in it. That's what that Rodden Cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too! Whatever it is! Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? You're so dapper. Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. And I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Josh! Hi! How you doing? You having a poggers night? A recital? No, he's got his violin back. He can actually play it. No, huh? Oh. Why would I come round to your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? I'm doing well, I am poggers. I was productive today. I'm so proud of you. How was the Holmes loving session? Well, Holmes is here, so it's going really well. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set up place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later, too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later then. Interesting. I would very much like to know what it is. A legal consultancy. The attic. No new dialogue here? Let's have a proper look. Sorry, fiddling with the setting real quick. Okay. We've got such a cute little fireplace. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. With the green teas Susato-san makes me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? Cute. So this is the tea set that Susato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter. He has a sweet tooth! That's so fucking cute. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know? I don't like to see you screw up your face, sir. These are law books. I've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework. She's so cute! I like that we're learning so much about Ryu's little habits. He's got a sweet tooth, he's messy. This is our new home, it looks so homey and messy. Yeah, I think it seems some of that is Ryu's fault, but also this is Herlock's attic. So, you know. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. We all know Susato's the brains of this operation. Kind of expecting a latter comment, but that's a main Ace Attorney game thing. Wait, we can look around. Calligraphy? Ah, this must be the telegram. Let's see. Ah! No! You mustn't look at that! Not under any circumstances! Alright! I won't! I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. And put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. Interesting. She's so protective of her. I want so badly to know what that says. Mischievous! He's a little critter. We're rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well. And the anemones too. They've got them. Oh my god. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea, behind glass, inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness. Aquarium, does he watch Sierra? Critter. Yeah, we got an aquarium, that's so poggers. Godzilla, hi! How you doing? Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great though, is it? I like that he's a bit slovenly, a bit lazy, a bit messy. You know, I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san. I've never even peeped inside. I should think so, too! A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know? Whatever you say, young maiden. Alright, where else can we go? Can we go to Sholmes' suite? Sholmes' suite! Susie and Bruno, come in, come in! Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Naruhodo's legal consultancy? It has such a cute name. It's our little home. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always. I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yeah. After all, we have a special guest joining us. How old is Iris again? She's like 10, right? Yeah, Iris Wilson, 10 years old. I love it. Girl bossing at such a young age. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? At 10 I was messing around with toy cars and a GameCube. Yeah, at 10 I was trying to work out how to play Pokemon and I didn't like understand stats or anything. Iris is so clever. Oh. Oh, what a surprise. Yeah, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Best again. Harley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello? Mr. Sholmes? I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. You're smudging. No talk me, eh, Engie? I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. Oh, Ryu, you don't want to go digging down that hole. He's smudging. He's just a little critter. He's like, I'm mad. Don't talk me. What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How? How did you... Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Og, I have so many questions. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. and I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. 100% how you make friends, Iris. Good job. She's doing great. She's pogging. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Harley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. How many times has she shot him with it? Poor Harley. Ooh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Harley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes! I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So, Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. And found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. So, Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean. It must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Now isn't this interesting? For those in chat who haven't played the main Ace Attorney games, this is also a being able to see when people are lying is a real talent. I wonder if this is part of the roots of it. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Yeah, backstory lore. Lore backstory lore. Lore... Hold on. Lore backstory. The lawyer lore. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. And as soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Is this just Assassin's Creed Eagle Vision sort of stuff? I have not played Assassin's Creed, so I cannot tell you. Oh, I see. The other day it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Now, I know a lot has happened since the first case of this game. Understandably, Ryu's pretty distracted, a lot's gone on. You'd think he would remember the name of the guy he was accused of killing. Iris's father, who went to some distant land, piece it together, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. Yes! The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato. Yes. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Whew. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you! Mr. Sholmes! Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? He's no longer smudging, he's all better. Please talk, me I lonely. We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilden's disc. Oh my! Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, and I will be even more adept at larceny. Hello? Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Alright, what you got here, boy? I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows. Cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGilden's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. At the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes. Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed. This caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. He's so smart. How can you not adore him? Look. Yes, he is an idiot. I love a good idiot, and we all love the himbo jokes. He is so clever. Beloved. I love him, Your Honor. Take a house key, for example. A simple press, and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. Sholmes, no, do not do that. I think he can do whatever he wants. I confess, I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? Celeste, do not side with the lawbreaker just because he's hot. But Josh, he's hot though. But Josh, he's hot. And fun. So what if he wants to do a little crimes? Sherlock Sholmes has never done anything wrong in his entire life. None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Bruno. Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. That's a big word. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why, exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. I feel like this is such a phone charger moment. Everyone just use USBs. There's no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's Sally for you, always taking things too far. But my dear gal, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I should just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Sholmes, that is a lot of music boxes. This man is deranged. Affectionate. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved, buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Jeannie will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes. You may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of an otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes! The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than a bank's vault. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up. Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie? What did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's because Mrs. Susato is such a great fan of the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles. has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said he'd keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is at Windibank's. And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah! What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Huh? What did Susato do? Hi, Jenny. Miss Lestrade. We're just gonna change the subject? We're just gonna move on from this? This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. What? Get back here. No, wait! Miss Lestrade. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? The vibes are so bad right now. Oh yeah! Just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Oh, come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some meddlesome? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Kitty! Everyone's here. We got our friends. We got our cat. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. What a useful skill! Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. th of April, 9:34 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. It was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes! Iris's cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. He's good then! I thought he would be, but it's nice to have confirmation. Enchanting strains. Beloved. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glass from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, did I consult with you about something, I wonder? What's the matter, Susato-san? It's about the telegram I received. Good! Please tell us everything about the telegram. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then you have to start preparing at once. Oh no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. A What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Me too! I don't like this at all. Knock knock. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends! Ah, Iris. Hello again. And Gina. And Gina too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Wow. Yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learnt so much today. What in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? You mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see. Yay, crimes! I came to return this. Oh my god, she stole my armband. But I have it. It's in my pocket. I'm holding it. Wait, what? That's mine! Oh my! However did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius. So anyway, here. You can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Ah, thank you. Alright then. Good night. Yes, good night. Oh my god! Hi! Hello! How are you guys today? Thank you so much for the raid! Did you have a good stream? What were you streaming? What's up, gamer? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, welcome. I'm Cotton. Hi. Right now we're streaming The Great Ace Attorney. We're on the 5th cave. It's real fun. I usually stream this or art. It was so nice to meet you guys. Played some Hearthstone and World of Warcraft. Finally hit the max level I can without buying the expansion. Congratulations! That is so poggers. Very proud of you. I hope it went really well. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Ouch. Kinda brutal. It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Alright, let's find out more about this manuscript. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time. Please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This manuscript or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Helly's assistant once. His partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? Lee! Hi! How you doing? Are you pogging? Are you having a good night? Who are they? Oh my god, it's been a while, hasn't it? Okay. On the left is Iris Wilson. So you were here for the first case, right? Remember how we were accused of killing John H. Wilson? That was her dad, who used to work with Herlock Sholmes. And we have not yet mentioned to her that her father is dead. So that's, you know, a lot. But she is Iris Wilson and she lives with Herlock. And then the other side is Gina Lestrade. So she popped up briefly in the McGilded case, which I think you saw a little of as well. She is like a pickpocket. She's very fun. She's very cute. I like her a lot. We are all wrapped up in everything. This case has been weird so far. We don't have like a client yet or anything. There's been no murder, but Susato has been summoned to speak with the Chief Lord Justice, and she got a telegram that she won't talk to us about. And Iris writes all of the like Sherlock Holmes stories, just like John Watson would in like the original stories. Iris has a manuscript that's with the pawnbrokers right now. It's locked away in a vault. But Susato seems to know more about it than she should. So no clue what's going on here. Very weird. Susato is acting very suspicious. I'm confused. Let's find out more. He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. That's gonna go well, Ryu. Happy to try, but I don't know how well she's gonna respond to that. Let's finish asking Iris about this manuscript though. I would really like to know more. Iris, this Hound of the Baskerville story. I take it that's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? Well, I don't really know, but it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. Interesting. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time. Under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works! I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris. When the time is right. He's a good guy. I am very excited that this case seems to be sort of tied up in Herlock's past. So far he's just like a little court jester, you know, he jangles his little clown shoes around at the crime scenes and not much else. I've been really hoping that he turns out to have a bit more substance to him, and this seems promising. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Winterbank, is it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. She's 10, Gina. I mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that. Does Sholmes know her dad's dead? I don't believe he does. He died in Japan. You know what? I'm forgetting now. Where did Sholmes board? Did he board? Because we met Sholmes first on the ship that took us from Japan to England. I don't know if he boarded that in Japan or in Shanghai. He was just there. Gina's 17. 17 is old enough to know that 10 is a baby. I can't believe she's older than Susato. Cute. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who knows what. It sort of seems like only Susato and I are aware that Iris's father is dead. Ooh. Kinda sussy. I mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I'd bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? Huh? This is so much. Parents first, then we'll talk about Sholmes' lie. I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Gina just sprung into existence fully formed. Don't worry about it. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it'd make everything right. But I haven't listened to what Iris just said. Well, sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had him, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet him. It's true. I do want to see Daddy. So much. Oh. Oh, Iris. Oof. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that mantle script or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really an oldie Windbank story, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Oh my god, she's so smart. Ah. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that, I'm sure of it. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that manuscript ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. I really like this dynamic here. I'm so glad we've got the three girls together. They're so cute. The way they... I don't know, I like how they all have very different world experiences, but they still are, like, supportive of each other, and they help each other, like, balance out. I don't know, it's cute. They're a cute trio. Oh my goodness, look at the time! Come along, Ginny, we should go back downstairs. They're all just very good. They are. Three best girls. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night then. Iris. It sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's... Oh. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. Uh-oh. What's this about? Why is he so pretty? For real, who gave him the right? You can't be bringing me bad news like this and looking that good. Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's... Oh no. It's simple. If that story was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. For real, if Gina shows up dead, if Gina is the victim, I'm gonna riot. Gina have gone. It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no, not really. Well, anyway, you must investigate. At once. Miss Susato. 16th April, 1:14 AM. Baker Street. I'm having Kazuma flashbacks right now. I can't do this again. The door to Winterbanks. It's open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina. Mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh yes. Ah! Transformation mod, go! You've got great timing, Lee. There we go. Mud, yeah. Mud, yeah. Okay. Tension break. I'm gonna, before we continue this, I'm also just gonna drink some water real quick. This is so stupidly stressful, what the fuck? Okay, okay. I've had my water. I've got my little mud kit. This is a top tier channel point redemption. I'm glad you think so. It's a bit janky right now because I put it together on stream in like 2 minutes. But I hope to make a better version soon that doesn't like cover my eye or anything. Same with like the cat ears one. Whew, okay. Okay. Sholmes. Oh yes. There he is. Ah! Thank you for the hydrate redeem. I will drink up. Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes! What the? Is Sholmes being shot? What? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. After them. Go! Right. Huh? What? What? Blast. I've lost them. LOLO, what have we here? The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me! Lee? Hang on, I have to screenshot chat real quick. Sholmes dies! Haha! No! I was joking! You should know better. Oh my fucking god. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot! With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Winterbanks.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
Sorry, the audio was so desynced. It's like that for me as well.
It's Gina!
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Hello? Oh my god. Sholmes seemed okay. You know, like if he was gonna die, he'd probably be dead. Gina I'm a little more worried about. Oh my fucking god. What the fuck, yo? The way my heart rate rose when Ryunosuke said that Sholmes had been shot. Oh my fucking god. Oh boy. boy! Alright, we'll continue in just a second. I need to pace around my room for a second to get some nervous energy out. So let me put us on, be right back, but I'll be like less than a minute. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. Oh boy! How are we feeling indeed? I'm feeling, scared. How are you guys? Oh boy. Behind that door, in the storeroom. Hurry! I will offer hugs for those in need during this trying time. Thank you. I am in need. It's Gina? Okay, she's got the gun. Is she okay? I don't care if she killed someone. It's fine if she killed someone. I love her no matter what. Is she okay? From that moment, Winterbank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. April 6:21 AM, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Oh, Iris! A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. Oh, yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Pearlie and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Runo? Poor Iris. Trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. Oh, this music's really good. I've got goosebumps. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windybank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all of those police carriages pulling up outside his shop. So I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Windybanks in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street, and I chased after them, but they got away. So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windybank, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? But why? Well, the thing is... No! Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Then why have they arrested her? I'm sorry, There was nothing I could do. I feel like it always expects you to do the dialogue in order, but it feels best to elaborate on this first, so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No! No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. This is all so horrible. The thing is, Mr. Winterbank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside. Again? Another locked room? I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no! And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room? Yes, exactly. How did you know? That's the only explanation. Yes, the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well? What can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. She's just scared. So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to hospital this morning. What? Well, when we entered Winterbanks, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley was shot? This is what I mean about it expects you to do the dialogue in a certain order. But it doesn't feel right. It's like she just asked me about Gina, so I want to talk about Gina. Keys! Oh my fucking god, Keys. Reaches out. Hold my hand. There is so much happening right now. Hehe, Mudkip. Yeah, it's rough. Herlock was shot. I'm coping. I'm having a full Kazuma moment. This is just it all over again. Gina's been accused of murder. No. No. It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinners. They're tending to him there. It's okay, that happens to everyone. I must see him, at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair! I'm a family member, I should be allowed! No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. Oh my fucking god. To operate? Oh, poor Hurley. It was the two thugs who were in Mr. Winterbank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. Wish I could stay, but alas. Have a poggers day. Good morning. I hope your day goes really well. I am sorry that I've been streaming at this time. I miss streaming at a time when we can hang out. Or can they operate in this time period? Oh, yeah, just slap some leeches on him. He'll be fine. If you see him acting a little bit crazy, don't worry. Just give him a lobotomy. It'll fix him right up. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but... well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. So sorry, it's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well. Or... on top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. Yeah, how's Susato? Where's Susie, Runo? She's still at the police station. Oh, why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Mr. Sato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Ah, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. She's so strong. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. Yeah, I need a little baby assistant. Come on. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. Okay, what about a genius? But I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me? Oh yes, I'd love to! Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget we have to visit the crime scene! We need to conduct a thorough investigation. Ah, I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Brady! What are yours and Sholmes' Valentine's Day plans? Well, he's just been shot. So, I think I'm going to go sit in the hospital waiting room and cry. And hopefully he will be okay after the operation. Okay, what have we got? We've got the prison, we've got the hospital, we've got the prison again? Oh, I see, it's looping. Okay. I wanna go to the hospital first, because it's in my nature, but if he's in operation right now, we won't be able to see him anyway, so we're probably more useful talking to Gina. After this, we can visit the crime scene, but I want to check in on her first. "16th April, local prison cell 13. Oh, he doesn't belong here. Hello, Gina. She didn't do it, and if she did do it, she had a really good reason. You know? There's no way she did it. She doesn't have it in her. They didn't take her smoke grenade? You still have the grenade launcher Helly and I made. I wish she wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you here for? Oh heck, it's 2 AM here, so I gotta go to bed. Good night, I hope you have a good stream. Good night! Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you sleep well. Jenny? I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. We were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry? You had get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone, I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak you into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny... I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. That it was my right or something. Get that bitch out the way. Take the lawyer out the case. Put me on it. But I told him to get stuffed. Good. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me anymore, obviously, if she tried. I love it. Why are you being like this, Jenny? What? No, I don't want to move. I want to converse. Please let me chat. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me growing up in the back slums. My whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell ya, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers. Or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. You can't trust no one, that's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could forget it. Ginny! Don't you trust Reno? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbroker's. There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. The old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest. But why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest! What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you. Whatever it is. Believe me. Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. But what do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? I can't tell if she's acting like this because she like truly, really, truly doesn't believe that anything can make a difference, so she's just playing the part so that she's not disappointed when she is convicted, or if something, like she's trying to protect someone by pretending to be guilty or something. Dana's design and personality is by far my favorite so far. Right? I love her so much. She's so fun. She's a Cinderella. I mean, yeah, right? What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. Interesting. A photographic print of a really adorable cat. I found it in one of the pockets of his coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. The cat I love. Gives you a cat picture, goes to jail. I I think the cat picture is going to be really important. Oh, I don't have it yet. I'm deeply excited to see how. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Jenny. White cat photograph has entered the court record. Let me at it. Let me at it. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it. 13th February, 9 PM. Article deposited. 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th April, 9 PM. So this photographic print is a redemption ticket? 13th February. That could be significant. When was the 13th? Was that when everything went down with, Eggsy? It was, wasn't it? Because the McGilded case happened on the 13th of... Yeah, McGilded case happened on the 13th of February. But the redemption deadline is 2 months after. Yeah, okay. Oh, 2 days prior. Never mind. Sorry. It was just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it? Small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it? Bruno. If Mr. McGilded still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article. So do you think the box might still be present somewhere in the shop? Oh, yes! If it's something Mr. McGilded deposited, we need to investigate. There we go. Is there anything about the cat that I could look at? There he is. This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like Wagahai. That would be because they've just recolored the model. Bruno, Ryu. She's got me calling him Bruno now. I always thought the cats like to curl up inside under the heated Katatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Okay. I feel like I'm getting a little bit notorious for missing stuff, so I should look quite closely. This all seems like the same bit of evidence, though. Can I find anything more about this sigil, or is it just going to repeat the earlier dialogue? Mr. Winterpink appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still. Perhaps he ran out of paper, or so had to use anything he had to hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now. Okay. Okay. Let's go check the crime scene, and after... What was the crime scene again? Oh, the pawnbroker. And after that, hopefully, Mr. Sholmes will be out of surgery. 16th April, Winterbank's pawnbrokery. Oh boy. We sure do got policemen here. This is where it happened then? Last night? Well, that's right. The 2 thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place, looking for valuables. But apart from the policemen in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. No, you're right about that, actually. There are policemen out the wazoo, oh boy. For real. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals, all dressed in black. Oi! I heard that! Gregson! Oh, Inspector. Good morning. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the 2 rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Gregson's theme is so good. I've been spending all my time listening to, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles music on YouTube. I'm getting a sense for which one's which for real now. This one fucks. It's so good. I thought you'd assigned extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Oh, posture check. You caught me, I was shrimping. I will unshrimp. Put my little feet on the ground, straighten my back. Everybody else better unshrimp too. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming. I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital attending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Bruno's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, man. As you say. I want to know more about why he's so differential to Iris. The Gen in Black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are any manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Why are you... I don't want to say simping for a 10-year-old. He's not like... He's not simping in the way we mean the word normally. But, like, you know. Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice? Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some. Lovely. Ah, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. So, how was the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. Just about to charge that diver we arrested last night. In fact, Gina? You're going to charge her? That's right. She'll be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. She's so cute. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? What the? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? How? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison. She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jail, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. What about I love him? Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. Oh! The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood. Oh my fucking god. We get... Oh. Praise. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway. He's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding. But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better? Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as red as rain before you know it. Really? How do you know? Eh? How do I know? Well, because of course. Ah, yes. Because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh dear. Please don't die, Harley. Please don't die, Harley. I report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theatre. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, Sunshine. Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. What's the source, Sonny? I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
Because of those adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why. Oh. I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
Oh, well yes, because you're an acquaintance of Harley's.
What did you write about the Inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at Yard reads them. They all read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time you became such a toady to me. Can you blame me?
All it'd take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No. And the great detective will say, he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. Can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Rance magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
How awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Lovely! Ah, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. You turtle. Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? What is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message? I wonder what it could be. Is it from Susato? Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? That'll be to the Chief Investigator, right? The Chief Lord Justice. Yeah. The Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. And she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go to see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. I will try and have a... Hello? I will try to have a look around here, but I don't think we're going to get much, so we can probably just head right over to the, correct area.
Alright then, let's see what we can uncover.
Wait, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were hoping to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer. You know that.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruhodo was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around.
Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers.
Looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Okay, cool. That is what I assumed would happen, but it is good to have some confirmation that I'm not missing anything. Alright, I really want to go to the hospital, but we'll receive word when he's out of surgery. For now, we can go to visit the Lord Chief Justice's office. "16th of April, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office." Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regards to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Did I guess that right? Yeah! There they are, Suzato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. What? Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Suzato-san!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about?
They're sending her back to Japan?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial? You mean... she's been formally charged now? Oh dear.
Please don't send her away. Wait, hold on. First. Miss Susato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has—
That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill.
Oh my god. Oh no. Wait, Susato is leaving? Yeah, tomorrow. She's leaving tomorrow. We better hope Iris knows a lot about case law. Oh my god. Professor Mikotoba? I really like him. If I may.
Yeah, sorry.
You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No! Not even 24 hours later?
Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services today, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend.
Serious matters? Gregson mentioned something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. Kind of intense. 3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me.
There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart.
Which is?
It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her.
A timely suggestion.
Sorry?
The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair! Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those true poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. We gonna represent her? Hell yeah, we're gonna represent her! We'll find her at the local prison. Josh, I keep thinking about how you haven't played the original Ace Attorney and how much I want you to play the original Ace Attorney. Case 5 of the first game, I think, will make you go crazy.
Yes, thank you.
Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. Oh, I won't say anything about it, it's true spoilers. I think you would have a lot of fun. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato-san about to leave.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do?
Maybe I pick up the originals when I get paid next then? Hog?
As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Miss Susato. A very pensive look. If I'm honest, completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can, as a lawyer. Okay. Let's go to the hospital. And then we can go see Gina again. Convince her to let us defend her. 16th April, St. Sinners Hospital. Ward 3.
Hallie! Oh! Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen.
No. That's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she?
Ooh, I know what's probably happened. Harley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not so sure about that. A baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Don't say that!
Oh dear. I do hope Mr. Sholmes will be alright.
Hello, Olo. What have we here? We got goddamn Bobby again. This ward is off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, huh?
Well, I'll have you know, we're Harley's next of kin.
Eh? Ah, I'm begging your pardon then, ma'am. A little lady and a curious Eastern pair. Great mystery solver as a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Harley?
I believe he is currently in the operating theatre, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It has been several hours since he went in.
Oh my. Has there been some kind of problem?
Well, doesn't appear to be working, you see. Oh my fucking god. The anesthetic, that is.
No?
I've heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. This is how we reference it? The famous Sherlock Holmes drug addiction? We're like, oh, he drinks too much coffee. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable.
Oh, poor Harley. Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, yes? What is it, Mrs. Sato?
I hope you won't think me selfish, but do you think we could perhaps go to visit Gina? I've just realized that I won't have another opportunity to say farewell.
Yes, of course. Zato-san may not see Gina again before she has to leave. I wish I knew what Suzato-san was thinking. Anyway, let's go back to the prison then. Ah! Hello again, Gina. Get that gun, girl.
What are you lot here for now?
Have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look. You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina. I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
How is she allowed something that is borderline a gun in prison?
Because she's Gina Lestrade.
Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't confiscated. I can't tell you.
What? I'm sorry to say, but I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Huh? Farewell?
Tomorrow, I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again.
Oh. Right.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable.
Susie.
Well,
that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, well
Well, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy.
Because of you. What? It's my fault?
Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
That was so smart.
What are you talking about?
What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths.
Get her ass.
Oh! Thank you, Godzilla. I will stretch. Arms and back and wrist.
And fingers, oh my god. Crunchy.
What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
I stretch, I'll probably put my back out. Josh, I think that's a sign that you should stretch. Don't put your back out, but the position that you're in,
No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? Yeah, I thought it might be. The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted.
Let it out, Gina. We are your friends, and we love you.
The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
Yeah,
You're right.
because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now? Oh, no, I don't want to move. I want to converse, please.
Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it.
What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing. And then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you.
Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at my hands, I had the Cove's blood all over him. I was so scared, I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were, and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was going to do after the Cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scalp her before the cops showed up.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. The slimy, sickly son of a bitch. My fucking god. What you saw, what you heard. Everything. You said McGild made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGild sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the COVID in the floor, and let out a little scream, see, couldn't help it. McGild heard that, and dragged me out by the arm. That's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. Disc, all bright and shiny.
A disc?
So that would be the music disc then. Do you mean...
Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winterbanks.
So the music box disc was there, on the floor of the omnibus.
Not for long. McGild had spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket.
That disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago, at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me. I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab. It was straining me ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was McGild getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh,
Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of
2 people.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGild and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGild had claimed that he slept during the carriage ride.
But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly true.
Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time, in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGild and the victim knew each other.
So McGild was lying, as I suspected.
I knew it weren't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that that bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. When the cab came to a stop, McGild told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 cars from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right. And after they'd gone, McGild had asked the driver to do him a favour.
A favour?
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye, I'll give you 10 guineas.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yep, you got it. It was Winterbanks. Coachy snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGild had opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions.
I see. What were McGild's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said.
This game is insane. Stuff linking from previous cases. Yeah! This is why Ace Attorney is so good. Each case is its own self-contained story, but by the time you get to the end of the game, you realize that everything was all connected somehow. I'm off to send in the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? At all?
You asked him to go pop your weasel, right?
Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. You understand?
What? You want me to have the ticket?
That's right. And I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it.
Alright then.
And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Winterbank, so it is, and you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend can come along and buy it.
But I ain't got that kind of brass.
Here's £5. That should be enough. We understand each other, lass. Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me...
Yeah, I get it.
Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt.
The coppers?
Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say, and what is it that you won't?
After he'd gone over it all, I piped it, but as far away from there as I could.
He hid in the pawnbroker's ticket. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene.
I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So McGilda planned it, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. That's a lot of dots. There's a lot of silence.
I bet you're ready to string me up, eh?
I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some corkers.
The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with.
What a wicked man!
He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilda would have...
In an heartbeat. You could have had the lot of us chased out of there if you'd wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But
I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Sorry guys, tearing up a little bit. It's fine, it's fine.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it?
Something like that. Mr. Sato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing.
That's okay, Gina. You'll have one anyway.
Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely.
Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court record. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Winterbanks now.
Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there?
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Winterbanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Okay. This is so very much. Let's go find out what the fuck happened here. 16th April, 1:26 PM. Winterbanks Pawnbrokery. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship! How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Lovely. Well, let's see now. Oh, yes. I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime, then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Winterbank. And Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yards need to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. And I feel like that's gonna tie in too, huh? So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine.
Come then. Let us not waste any time.
Susato is my rock. I love her so much. Okay. I'm not allowed to click on the little... Can I look at the sign? There's the article ledger here and Mr. Winterbank's notes, and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. That looks just like the...
Oh, look on the back, there's some writing. Is that? Oh, show us, Susie, show us.
The cat is back!
15th February, 10:30 PM. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th April, 10:30 PM.
A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think...
Yes! This must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday.
And is still wearing. Which belongs to McGilded. Blood prints indeed.
I
would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though.
It seems Mr. Winterbank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have to hand.
I don't know why Ryu said handwritten then. I suppose they must have had printers because they can print photographic prints. But surely he would expect everything to be handwritten and not printed. But this photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently.
Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier.
Of course! I was forgetting she gave us that print.
Well, what are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out!
Alright. Let the cogs turn.
Yes, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, aren't they? The cat's moved its head a little, I think. Yeah, and the shadows are just a tiny bit different. But otherwise...
I've got it! These two photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. One slightly to the left, one slightly to the right, yeah.
You really want to know?
Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Winterbank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints?
Actually, that's not quite right.
Sorry?
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
They're not?
Have another look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other?
I think so. It's very subtle though.
But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Ah, well, it's because there is that, you see?
No, I don't.
This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment.
Oh my god, okay. Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently?
Ah, yes, that's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. See? There it is, just over there.
Yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Moving picture thingo! Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions.
What? Really?
Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place?
No, I have no idea.
Ah, wonderful! Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. This could be so important, Ryu! Mostly, she's really cute.
I, for one, simply have to know. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us?
Well, I just open them, and it works.
The reason it works is because we have two eyes.
2 eyes. Shocking.
If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, Queen, explain it to us. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see.
My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. Is this how 3DSs work?
I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick.
So, if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints?
Yes, Bruno. You're beginning to understand.
And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yeah, it was called stereoscopic 3D after all. I didn't know that. I didn't have one. I really wanted a 3DS, but I had a DS Lite, and as far as my mum was concerned, that was basically the same thing, right? You can play all the same games. No. But I was lucky to have a DS at all. Pretty poggers.
Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
You can? Really?
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go.
Zyto-san really loves this kind of thing. I had a 3DS growing up and never used the 3D because it gave me a headache. When I played Ace Attorney, because the original trilogy first came out on DS and is now on Switch, but 4 is on DS and then 5 and 6 are on 3DS. So I borrowed Ruby's, and I was determined to play with the 3D on because the 3D, it's cool. I never got to experience this. All that really happens with 3D Ace Attorney is that the characters are pulled slightly away from the background and the text box, oh my god, is pulled slightly away from the characters. So it wasn't too bad, but also it gave me a bit of a headache. And I was like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm pushing through.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that?
Cross my eyes? I think I can.
Watch me and see if you can copy.
Cute!
Make your eyes do this. Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? There, how's that?
Hold on, let me just, there we go.
Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try it looking at the print. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images, like this. You try it now, Runo.
I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose.
Did the print split into two images for you? Now, the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then to try crossing your eyes again.
Alright everyone, let's do this. I'm trying so hard to make them clear.
The prints should slowly merge together until they form a new single image in the center. Oh, yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now. It looks so real! Oh, I could look at it all day!
Perhaps you shouldn't. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Runo. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly close your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle.
Like this, is it?
Serena! Hi!
Is that why his eyes are adorable?
We are learning to view stereoscopic images. There, you managed it! So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly.
No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, then set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back, and...
It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case.
Stereoscopic pictures. I'd never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learnt a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need.
Second white cat photograph has been entered into the court record.
Hog. Okay. I exhausted all my dialogue, right? Cool. What else can we look at in here? There's blood on the calendar. Ah, look here! Also... No, I suppose that makes sense. Never mind.
Oh yes, a bullet hole. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall.
Presumably Mr. Winterbank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. This is the time where Holmes got shot, yes? It sure fucking is! We haven't been able to see him yet. He's in surgery right now. I'm very nervous. But yes, this is exactly the time. We've spoken to Gina and she signed the representation papers. She hasn't really agreed to let us represent her, but we're weaseling our way into it. Ooh. I'm very nervous.
Well, Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that.
Sorry? Surgery in the 1900s with no anesthetics is pretty yikes. Yeah! Yeah! When they were like, oh my god, sorry, yeah, it's taking a really long time because Sholmes, like, the anesthetics just isn't working on him. He said he's had too much coffee. Okay. Okay.
It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris? Did I write something like that?
Partly in jest, perhaps.
In jest?
Well, he doesn't do it often.
It is quite a dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once.
Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Aha! I may well be able to help with that.
What?
There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo?
Ugh. I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Yes, what a scientific observation.
So you need this.
Oh no. What is that scary looking thing?
Hallie and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch.
Oh. Green. Oh! The colour of the bloodstain has changed.
There. Does it make sense now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand.
Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see?
Yes!
How wonderful! The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change colour. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at. In a flash! Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris! Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great!
So, whose blood are we looking at then?
Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different colour, so... Just find someone whose blood turns the same colour, and you know who it belongs to. In a flash!
It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it?
One flash or two, this could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. We must make a note of it in the court record.
Let's go beat up some people, I guess. Let's get some blood. The blood sample has been entered into the court record. What the fuck are we gonna do with that society tomorrow?
Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have reagent left, sure.
Reagent? I don't know how to say words. What else is here? This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in here. Shh! Keep it down! Oh! Sorry. There's a major clue just here.
Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once.
But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. I've always said reagent? Okay. Like, I think that makes sense, right? Reagent is a ruler. Reagent is a chemical. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over me shift. They really have a tough time, the British police.
That doesn't stop us investigating though, does it?
No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Okay, cool. We got the calendar already. Alright, let's see. Anything else of interest in here? Suppose we can check on this guy. The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then we'll barely have scratched the surface. A crime and a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare. Every copper's worst nightmare, you know? A crime and a pawnbroker's. I'm having the worst time trying not to say pawnbroker. I don't know why that's where my voice wants to go.
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Bruno?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard.
Brady! Hi. Brady hugs.
This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Every time I type out your emotes, I keep wanting to type Celeste Puggies. I wish I could change them. Why is the Peach Cut 19? There are 18 other Peachkas. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are. I'm not confident I can get it closed again.
Oh yes, that's a folding stereoscope.
Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that he used the great big contraption over there.
Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that.
It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside.
But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself.
I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Not sure what... Because he was in the military? Is that why he said that? That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? If you search Peachka in Twitch, you get at least 5. Yeah, that makes sense. It must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in porn.
Too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me.
But clearly Mr. Winterbank was very careful when it came to the articles in his car. Okay, what have we found here? This was the coat, wasn't it? I want to look at this blood. Is this green?
Mr. Naruhodo, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I have noticed.
The red smear, you mean?
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wondered if Susato-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case.
Yes, we need Iris.
We should show this to her before we forget. Can I present it to her? Where is she? Go back. Ah, there we go.
Oh, that looks like blood!
I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather.
Well, don't worry, Bruno. You can leave the rest to me.
Green? Purple! Different blood. Okay.
Look at that. Yes, that's a colour we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colours correspond to at some point.
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
Huh? This is probably... This is blood from the night of the murder, and it was from a leather glove. And the leather gloves were bloody, so it's probably the victim's blood from the McGilded case. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the colour it turned, but with a little deduction.
That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well. You first, Reno. Who do you think it belongs to?
Alright, I believe that this is the blood of... Right? Rice-fired Mason?
You don't sound very sure of yourself, the way you trailed off there.
Well, it was 2 months ago now, in that case. And of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though.
The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windibanks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time.
There was a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night.
But Mr. McGilded's gloves were clean. There was a different pair of bloodstained leather gloves. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. That is what it was, right? I feel like I'm remembering the details of that case wrong, but I remember being confused about why there was so many glove reports, because we had the bloody glove in our court record, but then there was a report that the police officer... What am I trying to say? There was a report that the police officer said that Magnus's hands were clean, but then we knew that the people above the omnibus had seen someone with blood all over their hands, but the blood on the leather glove wasn't really all over their hands. We know that the person with blood all over their hands was Gina. We don't know who had the leather glove with a little bit of blood on it. Unless I've mixed things up. Gina was also wearing gloves, no? I don't think she was. I could be wrong. She doesn't normally wear gloves, right? Can I see her hands in the court record? No. I'm sure it will become clear eventually. It certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, a smart. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time, anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Naruhodo, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes.
I hope I'm more accurate than him. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. I like when Ryu and I are on the same page.
Yes, I think you're right, Reno. Very well. Let's make a note of this.
Details of the pawnbroker's tickets for the court have been updated in the court record. Blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record.
Okay. Thanks for lurking, Josh.
Alright. Summon to Supernatural again. Have fun! Can we go? If I just examine the door, how do I get into that back room?
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said.
You might have to get another recap ready. I will prepare one for you. Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. Mr. Windybank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him.
As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. You must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course. And we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry, if there are clues in that, I'll find them.
Poor Iris. It's climbed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windibank's life was taken in this very room only last night.
Ah! Hey, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped up little defense lawyer, do ya? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I don't know what to say to her. But you weren't running away from me. You were running away from a 10-year-old.
I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector.
Yeah? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet.
And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say. Ouch! Get him, Ryu!
Oh, Hurley.
And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Sure. You've got eyes, haven't you? Use them. It is what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand?
Sorry, Gregsy. What do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh yes, your ladyship. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to this storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside.
The lock appears to be broken now, though. Is that the police officer's doing?
Quite right, ma'am, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child.
Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, a hapless girl, curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand.
No.
Presumably it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well.
What?
The key to the storeroom.
And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector?
Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously. My personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. Please tell me about Sholmes. Please tell me about Sholmes. Please tell me about Sholmes.
Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he?
The thing is,
Don't mince your words, Inspector. Please.
You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No. The operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well... Out with it! Yes, ma'am. They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body... anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep.
Goodness. In the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction.
The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, or so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently.
Oh my.
No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. How is Sholmes doing? Well, the surgery's over, but he's not waking up. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes round again.
Charlie.
The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way.
Nani? Mudcut? Yeah! It's one of the redemptions I have set up.
He needs a true love's kiss. He needs me. I am on my way. Sprinting to the hospital. Oh, man, I was so excited to get to spend more time with him this trial. Nope. He got shot. He got put to sleep. Woo, 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 woo. I'm sure he'll show up at like the most dramatic possible moment. Beloved. Okay, let's have a look around. I want to see if we can get this blood added to our blood sample portfolio. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line.
Poor Mr. Windybank. He was a nice old man.
Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. This must be his blood then.
I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action.
Green? Blue.
So, now we know the colour the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windybank's blood. And it doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop. No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway.
Blood samples portfolio has been updated. Cool. Pog. Okay. What else have we got in here? A gun. Ooh. This is a revolver. A real one.
And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windybank's life. What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you're about to fade. Well, it's just that I've barely seen a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windybank with this yesterday, didn't we? I shall have to take my own life! Now, we know he only kept one bullet in that gun, don't we? It must be the same gun. We know that he only kept one bullet in that gun, and there's a bullet lodged in the calendar, and a bullet lodged in Mr. Windybank. So that's interesting. And last night, and a bullet lodged in Mr. Sholmes. There are so many bullets. That was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windybank told us that he only had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired.
So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. There must be another gun at play. Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any signs of being ransacked. What is it, Iris?
That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh!
Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all this...
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. We must check inside the box at once. Yes. Ah!
You got it?
It was there! Iris's story was there! Really, it was.
Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris?
Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it.
Really? Because that's not a very well hidden crown. Iris's manuscript entered into the court record. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. We've been over this one. This is just Gina's papers, nothing weird about that. I believe we've also been over this one pretty well. Okay, this is our portfolio, this is just record keeping, nothing to further investigate there. On to the Baskervilles. How did Susato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I want to take a look at her signature as well, just in case. It doesn't seem to be anything. Okay. What else do we have in here? Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings, look.
Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust in here together. Something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policemen shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine. Okay. Anything to say to Gregson? No. Anything I can present to him? Oh, no, I don't want to. I'll go see Gina in a second. I want to show him my armband. X. Present. X. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think? We don't intend to share, Sunshine. Not with the general public. Ugh.
In that case, Gregsy, how about some herbal tea?
I was hoping for some flavor text about Kazuma, but I guess not. Ah, lovely. Very much, that really hit the spot, your ladyship. You don't mind sharing that, then? I wonder if he has an opinion on either of these, or on any of this, really. Inspector, what do you make of this? Ah, what have we here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is the ticket from McGilda's Oak, the one that the little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do ya? No, I didn't mean to,
Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket.
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one? It seems that McGilda had another article in storage here at Winterbanks. Is that right?
I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Hog. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilder's overcoat. Eh? You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Wow. According to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilder deposited another article here with Mr. Winterbank. Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it?
Do you have any idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilder. It could be an important clue.
Well, yes. I suppose could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months.
So the small box will no longer be in here then? That's right. It's been forfeited.
Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time.
Oh!
There are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds, even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilder's. That information's not written in the ledger. Ugh.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Okay. Huh?
Ah! I nearly jumped out of my skin there! How could Mr. Winterbank set such a wicked trap?
I doubt he set out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh?
The trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Sure. I wanted to look and see if there was any... I know that Harlock had, like, security camera type things set up in here. I haven't been able to spot those. And I'd like to have a look for the box, but I worry we might be on a bit of a time crunch. Okay, if there's something we need to look at here, we won't be able to progress until we look at it, so we may as well play it safe and go straight to the prison. And we can come back if we have to. 16th April, 5:41 PM, local prison cell 13. Ah, Gina, good. You're back.
Ah! The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful?
Eh? Oh,
Didn't bother me.
thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Winterbank's.
Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy.
What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, that I did it.
That's not...
Gina, we came to ask for your final decision.
Eh? What decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you, or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you.
Right. I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear.
Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo, and all of us, know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Winterbank's that night. It looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason. And thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. She went for the manuscript, right? She wanted to prove to Iris. I suppose she could have gone for... No, it was the manuscript. Yeah. We found this in Mr. Winterbank's storeroom. A manuscript of Iris's latest story. Ah! Oh. Right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Winterbank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina? Who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night.
Eh?
You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it?
Ah!
Why don't you tell us what happened? Please. Let's representation in court first, then we'll talk about Iris.
We already have the representation papers and other documents we need.
All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother.
Jenny, rip them up and chuck them, would ya? Them representation papers or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin.
So, what will you do in court tomorrow?
I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
There's one stubborn pickpocket.
Alright, yeah, this Baskerville story. It's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, it's gotta be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right?
Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds.
What?
So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No. Ginny, how could you?
What? Wait, no, hang on!
Of course they weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the manuscript or whatever you call it really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the place.
For Iris's sake. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did.
But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it.
Well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you'd said the night before.
Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that mantle script ain't at Windybanks. You'd soon see if you had a look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Or somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Jenny, that was so sweet of you. Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Stop looking at me like that, Iris.
She's so cute. It's like having a heart embarrasses her.
It weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest, if he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windybanks. It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's law ain't like mine. She's got her dad, only she can't see him.
About that.
And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night, when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy.
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective, so much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner?
Well, that's how I see it, yeah. You're so thoughtful and kind, Ginny. Yes. And we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give it a rest, will ya? I ate all this chummy nonsense, do you hear? I ate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. Because if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarpa!
I hadn't noticed until now, but that's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat. There's some very suspicious red stains.
What? What are you looking at me like that?
I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. I'd like to look at her coat. So I wonder if we present the portfolio, she'll let us shoot her? Sorry, that sounds so mean. She'll let Iris use the gun.
Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina.
They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet.
What? Blood, Mr. Naruhodo?
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. Are you still winning? Got any high scores? I got the highest scores right now. I'm pogging so hard. I would be pogging harder if I'd heard from Sholmes yet to see if he's okay. But we're doing pretty good. Gina's like the cutest character in the world and we're getting to talk to her, so that is so poggers.
So could it be blood that splattered from Mr. Windybank when he was shot last night? Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else. Eh? Take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot.
This should be dark blue, right? Purple. Oh.
Oh my!
What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Dude, she just killed her? It's forensic! We got gun that you shoot and it makes the blood turn a different color. No, the blood was already there. It was just blended in. We have... Iris is an inventor, and her gun, we can shoot the blood with it, and then based on the blood type, it will change color. So we know that the victim's blood is color-coded blue, I've connected the dots. You haven't connected shit. Someone's blood was green. We don't know whose blood that is. I think it's probably Sholmes, but I'm not sure. And then, okay, the original victim's blood is purple. And this is the coat that McGilded was wearing when he killed the original victim, so we know that McGilded really did do it. Oof. Of course. The black colour of the fabric is masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now. And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple colour, which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly. Yes! Now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha! Yes, it was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago. I knew it. What? What are you all on about? The victim? What do you mean? It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half the story! I can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush down with the fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Mr. McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No. If that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. Oh my fucking god. We got a murderer acquitted. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, Magnus McGilded. Mr. Naruhodo, that horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? I know. Did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent? I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon? Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazuma-sama? Kazuma. Oh, I need to give him a voice. Oh my god. Hang on. Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Yo, he looks rad. He is so fucking cool. He was... at the start of the game, we were accused of murder, and Kazuma helped defend us. And he believed in us the whole time, and he was our childhood friend, and he smuggled us to Britain. I love him. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's funny, Gina? Almost the opposite of a different friendship at the start of a series? Yeah! Bro, Great Ace Attorney is so good, for real. It's like, okay, you play original Ace Attorney and you're like, wow, this is amazing, nothing can top this. And then you play Great Ace Attorney and it's like, wait a minute. This is pretty good though.
Oh, sounds like in this Empire of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you into, believing in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you've learnt your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end.
As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it.
Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one.
Gina, may I ask you something?
What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away. Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there.
Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo? A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Eh? Are you all faked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo.
Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina.
I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What do you mean?
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down.
Eh? It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side. What do you expect me to say to that? She's crying. Oh, I love her. People care about you, Gina.
And it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like. You waste a lot of... I don't know what you are. I don't get ya. Gina's taken herself up to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out alright in the end, I think.
Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Mr. Sato?
Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What? Blimey, you're sharp, eh?
Gregson!
I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Grexy!
Oh dear me, I am most terribly sorry, Your Ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening in on our conversation?
Good grief! Listening in! I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave, even though it was after hours. I assure you, Your Ladyship, I only just arrived, this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is, nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, Your Ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye bye bye! That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
Oh, but I wanted to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well... Emergency? He's in on the conspiracy, I know it. I still know the story so far, so I've got the whole thing wrapped up. Yeah, the very lovely, if sarcastic and a bit difficult to talk to detective, who has given us no reason to distrust him, is definitely in on the conspiracy. And you recognize this because you've been here the whole time. This is so not a game to be piecing together at this point. I am so sorry. I would love to recap the whole thing for you, but it is simply too much.
Strawberry! Hi!
Welcome! Are you having a good... It's day for you, right? Mixing up everyone's time zones. I'm here to support a friend and make memes, and you are making memes and supporting a friend so poggusly. So poggingly. So... You're poggers. Lord Strongheart? Nothing! Forget I said anything. Anyway, I'm off. Yeah, it's 3 PM. Pog! Are you having a good day so far?
Alright, Grexy, if you have to, let's chat soon.
Delighted. Charmed! Can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Grexy's so funny. He says such silly things.
It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah, I got mac and cheese. Ooh,
That is so delightful. I hope you enjoy it. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Sato. I'm gonna miss her so much.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later.
You promise? You promise? She has to pack. No, we'll see her again. Okay, it's fine. And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving. Leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Legitimately, I'm so miserable about this. 16th April, 11:13 PM, Naruhodo's legal consultancy.
Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it?
My eyes are kind of sweaty today. This case I think it's taken like 6 years off of my lifespan. Everything happens so much. Oh my god.
It's been a trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today's been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm. And yet, I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London. But we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. We've grown so much.
Sorry? Of what?
Oh no, it was nothing.
Unimportant. Do you know what time you'll leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I should be leaving here at 4 AM.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but
every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
Anything for you, Susato-san. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my! I nearly forgot! Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winterbank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh! Ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
The gilded case notes have been entered into the court record.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susato-san,
I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait! There's something I need to say. Hey!
Huh? What was that?
A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown.
Shutdown?
Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Susato-san. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind. Eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. "17th of April, the small hours, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Okay, cool. Look. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. Oh, look! He looks so good for someone who's just been shot. His vest is so tight, you can see the outline of his ribs. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madam. Hello? What? Oh, no way. Susato was... How do I voice this? I have complete faith in Susato, right? I think she is a wonderful person. I trust her completely. She has been so suspicious. Hopefully she was arranging for Sholmes to be our judicial assistant. I'd assumed it would be Iris, but I don't know, maybe he'll be joining us in court. I really want to keep playing and go on to the next part, but I also feel like I should probably call it here. I want to know what happens next. But no, it's getting kind of late. I should go to bed. This is a really long case, so we're going to be doing it in parts no matter what. Oh, stretch and hydrate, yes sir. And we have been going for nearly 4 hours. Close to 3.5. Okay, stretched and hydrated. I think I will call it here. I don't see any reason why I won't be able to stream tomorrow night, so we will be back around this time tomorrow with more so that we can find out what the fuck happens next. I believe we should be straight into the trial next, so that's super exciting. But for now, thank you guys so much for hanging out. It has been poggers getting to experience this with you. I think Mizu is live, so let's go visit her. I'm sorry. I'm getting kind of sleepy though. I can't keep staying up till 3 a.m. streaming, it's bad for me. Thank you. I will probably have a good night. I hope you all do too. Is it an exclamation mark or a slash for raid? I believe it's a slash. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Raid Mizu 2. There we go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. And hopefully I will see a lot of you again tomorrow night. Love you. Good night.